Hello. In this video, we will run a query, and view the results in the results grid. Here we have the order analysis query. You can see the SQL that makes up the query in the details in the bottom portion of the screen. You can see that it is selecting all the records and then using SQL joins to bring in some descriptions. Now we can click the Run SQL button to execute the query, and the results will be displayed in the results grid, on the next screen. Here is the results grid. You can see all the data records listed in the grid. In the lower right-hand corner of the screen, you can see the count of number of records retrieved by the SQL query, and the number of columns in the resulting table. The results grid has a lot of features. Let's start by taking a look at the header menu that will allow you to start to interact with your data. The top two entries allow you to sort the data in that column. The next two entries allow you to group the data by this column. More on that soon. And to hide the group by box. The next two entries allow you to hide a particular column, and to choose a column to add to the grid from a list of columns that are already hidden. The best fit menu entries allow you to resize either one or all columns based on the contents of that column, or columns, to get the best fit on the screen, showing as much of the data as possible. The filter editor allows you to edit an existing filter on the column. The next entry allows you to hide the filter row at the top to give you a little more space to view the data. The conditional formatting menu items allow you to format the view of the grid entries. This can be used to highlight certain pieces of data, and allow you to focus in on the information that really matters to you. The auto column width item allows you to resize that one column based on the contents of all the rows in the column. The next four menu items allow you to fix a column, either to the left or right side of the grid, or in the middle. We will be demonstrating how this works in a few moments. Now, let's take a look at some filtering and sorting features that are built into the grid. Let's use the filter bar at the top of the grid. Here you can filter on any column. Let's filter on the city name as an example. Note how fast it filters to just the city name, Bern, and that it filters as you type. As well as the column filters in the filter header, there is a filter box in the upper right-hand side of the grid. This filter allows you to filter on all columns at once. Note how fast it is. Also note that when we search for the text Bern, it finds it in both the city and the contact name columns. Now, let's clear that filter. Another column filtering feature is that of the automatic filters built for each column. You can access these filters by clicking on the filter icon in the upper right side of the column header. Let's filter by the city of Anchorage. Notice that the program builds these filters automatically for you. You can simply select one or more from the list shown. As well as the automatic filters, you can build your own text filter by using the second tab on the filter dialog shown. There are many options here as to how you may want to filter the data. Now, let's clear the filter and close this dialog. Now, let's take a look at the sorting capability of the grid. You can sort any column simply by clicking on the header. Click once to sort ascending, click again to sort descending. Let's sort the data by the company name column. Let's take a look at conditional formatting, and how it can help you focus your attention on the data that matters to you. Let's highlight the records for the city of Bern. Right-click on the column header that you want to use as the test for the conditional formatting. Then choose Conditional Formatting near the bottom of the menu, and then highlight Cell Rules, and then Equal to. A small dialog will show, and you can enter the city name you want test for. Next, select how you want to format the records that match the city name you are looking for. In our case, we will select red text with red background, and we will make it apply to the entire row, not just that one column. Then click the OK button and watch how quickly it applies the conditional formatting to the grid, highlighting the data you are looking for. Okay. Now let's clear the conditional formatting, so that no records are highlighted. There are times when you want to look at columns in various parts of the grid. While you can move the columns around, simply by dragging them to where you want them. It is far easier to fix columns to a fixed position in the grid. To do this, right-click on the column header you want to fix in a position and choose Fix Left, Right, or Middle. Let's do this for the city name column. Now, move the scroll bar at the bottom of the grid to scroll right through the rest of the grid columns. Note what happens to the city column. It does not move, and you can keep it visible, while you look at the rest of the data in the grid. The next feature we will look at is the group box, at the top of the grid. This allows you to group rows by column values, simply by dragging and dropping columns into the group box. Let's start this by dragging the city column into the group box. Notice how the grid changes to being grouped by city. Let's open up the first group, showing all orders for the city of Aachen. Notice that there is a gray bar below each group. You can right-click and choose what type of summary action to take on that group. In this case, we will count the number of records in that group, and then do a sum on another column. This group box feature provides a very easy way of creating groupings and summaries without any programming. InSights into Data is built around the concept of your data, your way. As part of that, we realize that many folks like to deal with data in a spreadsheet. So, we have built Excel-compatible spreadsheet functionality into InSights. To launch the spreadsheet, simply click on the Load Spreadsheet button in the ribbon bar above the grid. The data from the result grid is now loaded into the spreadsheet. And note that the spreadsheet has loaded the data with all formatting from the grid, including the counts, sums, etc. from any groupings. You can see the group totals of 71 in both the spreadsheet and the grid in the background. This spreadsheet is fully Excel compatible, and can even load from and save to Excel files. Now let's close the spreadsheet form. Data in a grid is useful, but in order to understand the big picture, you need to be able to visualize it. Graphs and charts are the best way to do this, and InSights provides a number of ways to visualize your data. One quick and easy way is the charting function of the grid. To start the chart function, simply click the Show Grid Chart button above the grid. A new panel will appear on the right-hand side of the grid, which you can resize. Here we can pick the value that will be graphed, the argument, and the series columns, as well as the series and legend labels. You can also choose to use the chart wizard, and customize the chart in many ways. The chart can be exported to a wide number of formats including PDF, HTML, Excel, RTF, as well as a number of image formats. When you have things configured the way you want them, simply click the Update button to show the chart. In this example, notice that once the Update button is hit, an empty grid is shown. This is because the chart is based upon selected records in the grid, and there are no currently selected records. So, if you select a record, notice that a single bar is shown in the chart. If you select more records, then more bars will show in the chart. You can also select all records, clicking Ctrl-A, and all records will be used to generate the chart. As you can see, the chart can get very crowded, but you can use the splitter bar to enlarge the size of the chart. As you move the mouse and hover over the bars, you will see series title and values. At any time, you can export the chart to a variety of formats, including PDF, HTML, RTF, and various image formats. This allows you to easily use the chart in other applications. Okay, let's clear the chart and close it by using the splitter. From the results grid screen, you are able to do a number of other things, like design, view, and print reports and dashboards. Export the data to a number of different formats. Load the data into our analysis pivot grid, export blob fields from the grid, and save and load the current layout of the grid. Thank you for taking the time to watch the overview of the features of the InSights into Data results grid.